is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the Loot Box Hero. Check out the second channel, the second channel is popping, aka the Real Super Mario, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here, bringing you another video. Alright, so we have a pretty interesting video for you today. So, we have some interesting news. We have some big Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news. They just crossed a huge number that nobody ever thought they would cross, because, you know, Scarlet and Violet is like one of the worst Pokemon games ever. But we'll see about that in a second. We have some interesting anime news. Disney seems to be putting its foot forward, or putting its money forward in the anime industry, which could be a good thing or a very, very bad thing. Sony is also taking another bigger bite out of the anime industry as well. We also have a pretty interesting anime lawsuit to talk about, as well as the 4chan text dump for Pokemon Legends ZA. We got that and more for you today. So, of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, and the bell button, all like I said, the YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Follow me at twitter.com/RSMario128. Like my video tweet, share my video tweet. Now I'll shout you out at this portion of the video, as well as drop a comment down below so that I can reply to it in the comment corner at the end of the show. So lately we haven't really had too many comments because I haven't had too many videos, because real life has been messing up my video schedule. So I apologize, it's my bad. But drop some comments and I can answer them in the next video. So let's get on into it. Stealth says, according to Famitsu, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are the best-selling Pokemon games ever in Japan. They've sold over 8.3 million copies in Japan alone. In 28 years, no set of Pokemon games have ever sold more than Pokemon Red and Green until now. So, as of right now, the highest selling Pokemon game in the home of Pokemon is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The game that tons of people said was terrible. And don't get me wrong, alright, the release of that game was atrocious. Alright, it was the worst Pokemon game, as far as like performance, period. That's the worst a Pokemon game has ever released. But the fact that they were able to get it to a point where it can become the best-selling Pokemon game ever is something that you can't just overlook that. Alright, it is the best-selling Pokemon game of all time at the home of Pokemon in Japan. That's incredible. Alright, so there's not a Pokemon competitor that can stand up to it. Not one. Tim couldn't do it. Put it in the dirt. Power World couldn't do it. They about to be put in the dirt. Alright? No, this game stands alone. Or does it? Is there one game that can stand up to the power of Scarlet and Violet? Is there one game that can bring in the familiarity of a Pokemon game with the nostalgia of old school graphics? Is there one game that can do that?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
D.A.M Champions, that's that game. That's right, the brand new Pokemon-like D.A.M Champions, made by OFC Media, friend of the channel, by the way. This is not a paid advertisement, YouTube. Please don't kill me. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? D.A.M Champions is a game I believe could at least scratch that Pokemon itch between now and Pokemon Legends ZA, whenever that comes out, thanks to the hackers. So D.A.M Champions, if you don't know what it is a Pokemon-like that takes the Pokemon like aspects of catching monsters and training them, but not so much like Pokemon that it would get sued. And it puts it into a game with nostalgic old school graphics that you can play right now on Steam. So it is out. It's been out for a couple of days. So by all means, go give it a try. It's only like $10. It's super cheap. Give it a try. I believe, knock on wood, I will be streaming it this weekend if all things go well and nothing crazy comes up. So yeah, try D.A.M Champions today. So, moving on from Poke-likes back to Pokemon, we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet by the numbers. So, this was some stats that that Game Freak came up with from people playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We have some of the Pokemon that were most commonly added to teams, and that was Gyarados, Garchomp, Lucario, Fletchinder, which, by the way, I like Fletchinder. Florigato, Meowscarada, Crocalor, and Skeledirge. Guess what you don't see on here? You don't see Quaxly, the Quaxly family at all. And I'm kind of sad, but I understand, because while Quaxly will always be the best starter in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the evolutions just didn't do it for me, man. I feel like they tried to do too much with Quaxquaddle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you either do the sailor thing or do the salsa dancer thing. Don't try to do both, because it just comes across really weird. Yeah, pretty interesting stats from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It just kind of tells you how people are playing the game, what Pokemon they're putting on their team. But speaking of teams, we move along to Overwatch. So, I covered the new tank hero when it came out. You can check out that video, by the way, because of how crazy the schedule has been, the algorithm thinks that I died, so it's not really pushing my videos too much. So if you want to check out my coverage of the new tank, you can. But yeah, so Overwatch Cavalry says, meet the Phreaks in Overwatch 2. This faction of anarchists include Rebel, Suziana, Jackdraw, Touch Up, Boomslang, and Hazard. So, bro, these names remind me of what's that bootleg faction for WWE that had like the bootleg names? They was led by they was led by like the little Arab dude. I can't think of the name of the faction. They had what's his name was in it? I can't think of the name of it. I'll put a picture up there. They kind of remind me of them with these dumb names, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like Touch Up, Boomslang. And everybody likes Boomslang because, she's like cute African lady with the weird legs. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so this is the new faction in Overwatch. Now, here's the thing. I'm a little tired of them introducing new evil factions, because they're anarchists, which means that they're definitely evil. They might try to do like the cyberpunk thing where it's like, oh, well, they're just trying to survive and they're just stealing stuff and killing people to try to survive, whatever. Like, they're evil, okay? They're all right. They're criminals. Come on now, But yeah, the tank himself is pretty cool, even though for some reason there's been a lot of hate on his design. And I'm like, I don't know. I think the design looks fine. It looks like cyberpunk person, That's what they were going for, and that's what they hit, So moving on. Speaking of hits, we have Stealth with Zelda producer Ayanuma says Echoes of Wisdom help him see that there is still potential in 2D Zelda games. He believes that there should be both dynamic 3D Zelda games and top-down 2D Zelda games. This is huge. All right, if you don't really, understand what's going on here. He's basically saying that we could be getting a 3D Zelda game and then offset it with a 2D Zelda game, which is what I think a lot of people want, and it's probably one of the best things for the Zelda community, because the Zelda is running the risk of having Fire Emblem syndrome. And if you don't know what Fire Emblem syndrome is, basically when Fire Emblem when Awakening came out, it split the franchise. So now you have the old school Fire Emblem fans, all right, from like the old, like, you know, Shadow Dragon, Super Nintendo days, whatever. And then you've got the new school fans that are more fans of the anime, waifu-ish, you know, awakening style Fire Emblem games. You know what I'm saying? So now the fan base is split. So whenever you go too far in one direction and too far in the other, you kind of lose one side or the other. And Zelda could have that same problem. All right, Zelda, you know, you have the 3D Zelda fans, like the new open air Zelda fans from, like, you know, from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and then you have old school Zelda fans that just remember old school Zelda, you know. And if you go too far in one direction or another, you're gonna lose those fan bases. So if you just do both, you can keep both fan bases happy, and you can, you know, they'll stay, you know. Now, of course, the divide is still gonna be there, but I think this is the best thing for everybody. So I think this is huge. So next huge story is one story that's been burning up the social interwebs. Reuters says Sony Group Corporation is in talks to acquire Kadakawa. So a lot of people are saying, why do we care about Sony picking up an anime company? Because Kadakawa is not just an anime company. It's a huge company. Kadakawa in Japan is kind of like ZeniMax. It's kind of like ZeniMax in Japan. So ZeniMax, when Microsoft bought ZeniMax, it was huge because ZeniMax had so many studios and it had its hand in so many different pies. It wasn't just the Bethesda parent company. It was a ton of other studios and companies as well. Kadakawa is the same way. So Kadakawa not only has, like, they have a part of Aniplex, they have a part of a couple of other anime studios, specifically Cloverworks. They also have a A1 Pictures. They have a part of A1 Pictures. They also have a owning stake of From Software, which means that Sony would basically own Elden Ring or From Software, period. Which, this is huge, all right? And to be honest, I'm a little sick of acquisitions at this point. Unless it's Nintendo. If Nintendo was looking to buy something, I probably would be interested. But Sony and Microsoft have been highly irresponsible with their acquisitions, and honestly, I just think they need to stop. All right, look, y'all need to stop and just restructure, like, your corporate hierarchy, because the decision makers don't know how to make decisions. All right, after the debacle with Concord and Firewalk, y'all need to pause acquisitions for at least 2-3 years. All right, to say and only acquire companies that you have a plan for. All right, not you're not gonna just dump the company or kill the company at the first sight of a challenge. You know, Microsoft does the same thing. You know, look at what it did with Tango Gameworks. Luckily, it got saved. You know, but still, no, I hate this. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, this would give Sony a bigger piece of the anime pie, which is a bad thing. All right, because they already have Crunchyroll, they already have Funimation, all right, and now they're gonna get Aniplex too, fully. Like, that's crazy, man. I don't like this at all. I think this is terrible. And speaking of things that could possibly be terrible, we also have Disney that is putting more of its infinite wealth into the anime industry, announcing several anime that are going to be exclusive to Disney Plus and maybe Hulu in 2025. We have One Dance, which is a hip-hop dance anime. We have Bullet Bullet, which looks like racing, or maybe it's like some kind of, like, you know, Mad Max type of deal. And we have Cat's Eye, which to me it seems kind of like Totally Spies, but I don't know. I've never heard of this property before. But the big thing about it is, with all these anime announcements, basically show you just where Disney, where their focus is right now. They're looking to acquire more anime for Disney Plus. Now the thing is, here's the big thing. So a lot of people are saying that it's gonna. I've heard some of these shows are gonna stream worldwide on Disney Plus, which is a bad thing. Because for right now, whenever a show goes to Disney Plus in Japan, it usually goes to Hulu everywhere else. All right, and I have Hulu. I don't have Disney Plus. I only activate Disney Plus when a Star Wars thing comes out or a Marvel thing comes out, like an interesting one. Like, I'm not gonna reactivate my Disney Plus for freaking Skeleton Key. All right, I'll wait for something else, you know. But I can see all the Disney Plus anime on Hulu. But if they start doing Disney Plus anime worldwide, which means you would have to get Disney Plus to watch any show that gets licensed by Disney, which is terrible. All right, because I don't want to buy Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, Disney usually doesn't advertise its anime. Like a lot of really good anime went to Disney jail in the last couple of seasons. Like look at Summer Rendering. You know what I'm saying? That show ended up in Disney jail. Look at Heavenly Delusion was the same way. Big anime went to Disney jail. So I don't like this idea. I don't like this idea at all. We also have a little Marvel Rivals controversy. You know me as being a petty person. The competitors to the games I love being petty about their downfalls. So employees at Marvel Rivals developer NetEase has been arrested for allegedly laundering up to $139 million. Boy, couldn't happen to a better game. So it says executives and other executives, not just employees, executives. That means people at the top, people calling the shots. You know what I'm saying? And other employees at Marvel Rivals developer and publisher NetEase have been arrested in connection with alleged money laundering scheme. The amount laundered could be up to $139 million. With Marvel Rivals on the horizon, it is an exciting time for NetEase. The beta was exceptional, and its potential to come out swinging as a rival to Overwatch, just as the hero shooter genre saw one of the biggest failures in Concord. However, they got the wrong kind of excitement in the office when 9 employees were arrested in connection with a possible money laundering scheme. As according to Chinese news outlet Li Fang, executive Zhang Lang, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that, you know, and several other now former employees allegedly launder money through contracts made with up to 28 different business partners. These employees were detained as the site of their weekly meeting was moved from Guangzhou to Hangzhou. Authorities intervening and detaining them at the new meeting spot in the sting operation. Although the details are sparse to this being an ongoing investigation, the amount of alleged launder could be up to 1 billion Chinese yuan, or $139 million. This money was part of existing business dealings in the company that totaled up to around 2 billion yuan. So the actual amount won't be determined until the investigation is concluded. So it could be even more money than $139 million. This could be huge. And here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, well, this doesn't really affect the game. Well, yes and no, because the executives in charge of the game were doing this. Like, these partnerships were involved with the game. You know what I'm saying? It could definitely harm the presence of the game, or harm the you know, not the look of the game, but basically the PR for the game. And saving face is a huge part of Chinese business. All right, if you lose face, all right, if you lose that PR look, it's not a good look in China, okay? All right, you could lose support from other businesses. Customers may not care too much. Some of them will. You know what I'm saying? Some of them definitely won't want to deal with a corrupt company or buy products from a corrupt company. But it's China. I mean, on a level, all of them are kind of corrupt. You know, but the thing is, business relationships could be at stake for NetEase and for the company making Marvel Rivals if they're found to be a dishonest company. So I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Couldn't have happened to a better game. All right, so next we're going to talk about that big lawsuit. You know, that big lawsuit that's going on that people are talking about. Ranking of Kings mangaka files discrimination lawsuit against social media user who basically accused him of being both far right and a PDF file. So, not exactly the lawsuit you were looking for. I am going to talk about the Power World lawsuit. That's going to get his own video because I got more to say that I can't say in this long video right now, okay? I'm just going to be honest with you. So yeah, if you've been on social media for any amount of time, you know that social media gets crazy. Like, people throw out crazy accusations about people, you know, and I'm not talking about like the real accusations. I'm talking about like just randos throwing like random stuff at other people. Like, it happens, okay? And so finally somebody is standing up to it like, no, you ain't gonna call me outside of my character and get away with it. So in a move that will hopefully inspire a positive shift in the current state of online discourse, Ranking of Kings mangaka Sosuke Toka has responded to a Twitter user, because of course it's Twitter, who made wild accusations against his character with not a simple block, but rather a full-blown defamation lawsuit. Now, I think it's a little bit much to sue somebody over some Twitter garbage, but hey, I mean, I guess it's F around and find out. You know what I'm saying? This person F'd around, that ain't about to find out, bruh. Per a report from Japan's National NHK Broadcasting Agency, the mangaka filed the lawsuit after said user, a 30-year-old woman, of course, who purportedly resides in the Kadakawa prefecture, took to her personal Twitter account on July of 2023. Bro, this was a year ago, bro. What? You sued? Okay, and it's getting a little bit crazy. You are suing people for a Twitter post that they did a year ago. Like, that's kind of wild, but we continue, though. And asserted, I wonder why I feel uncomfortable after reading Ranking of Kings. It's because the author is a PDF file and a netoyo, a shortened term for the Japanese term neto yoku, which translates into internet ultra-nationalist or internet far-righter. Huh. Is that right? I'm a pretty nationalist individual myself. So I think I'm gonna add something to my my profile. So I'll be the loot box hero, aka RSMario, the real Super Mario, aka Netoyo nigga. That's right, the internet ultra nationalist nigga. That might be my new title, bro. I might take that on. That sound kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie. You know, according to police, who began investigating the matter in this past April, after Toka filed an official report about the incident. When questioned about the post, the woman explained, "I thought the content was imitating another manga I like, so I tried to vent my anger at the author." You know, at first I thought this was a bit excessive, but no, you crazy. You deserve all of that. So just because you feel like the manga is stealing from a manga that you like, you want to call the mangaka a PDF file. All right, that's like somebody saying, "Hey, look at Mario cribbing from Inferno Omni and Philip DeFranco. He must be like an axe murderer." Like, what? I mean, do you know how many similar manga stories there are? Like, there's a ton of similar manga and anime stories out there. Look at Isekai. Bro, like, most of them jams are similar in some way or another. You know what I'm saying? You don't see their fans like, "Oh, yeah, this dude, yeah, he definitely punts baby seals in his off time." You know what I'm saying? Because he made a manga that was similar to Sword Art Online, like 130 other mangakas have done. Bro, you deserve all of that. As of writing, the woman has officially been referred to Japan's public prosecutor's office on suspicion of defamation, and it is currently unknown what damages Toka is seeking, nor what potential punishments could await the accused. Yeah, that whole situation is messed up. Okay, the fact that this man is suing somebody over a Twitter post from a year ago is crazy. But this person calling him a PDF file and an alt writer because he wrote a manga that she didn't like is also crazy. Bruh, it's wild out here. Social media melts people's brains. All right, so the next thing we have is the 4chan text dump of the evening. So it says, Pokemon Legends ZA trailer in January was supposed to be in October, but was pushed back. They are using the same trailer, but altering things slightly. Here's what I know. Now, I'm already going to call cap on this because if they use the same trailer that they use for Legends ZA, that will be a firestorm of controversy we haven't seen since the low res tree. Okay, if we wait a year and some change for more ZA information and we get the same trailer, bruh, I might turn toxic. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. All right, starters are going to be revealed. They are the Kalos starters, and they are all on the table looking at the protagonist, and they reach out for one of them. Think like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Shows riding through the city on Go-Go. Can't jump or anything. It's basically used as a form of getting around the city quicker. It also shows fast travel for the city, but this will be a taxi service, not a Pokemon. I mean, that's interesting, but more than likely they probably would do some sort of Pokemon taxi. I mean, come on now. Or like Pokemon taxi service is like, come on. They would definitely do that. I mean, look at what they did in Sword and Shield with the big bird. What's the name of the bird? Corviknight, where Corviknight basically kind of flew you around. They're more than likely going to use a Pokemon for whatever this taxi service is if they were to do it. Set 15 years after Kalos, and the trailer has multiple characters returning. Sycamore, Serena, to name a few, but they look obviously older. This I kind of like, all right? I kind of like the idea of returning characters, because one of the coolest things about Legends Arceus was the descendants. Like, oh, who is this person a descendant of? And it's kind of obvious because the hair is similar and the eye color is the same, even though it's like, 150 years apart or whatever, But it was still a cool thing. It was like cool Easter eggs. Like, oh, look, this is this person's ancestor and this is that person's ancestor, So having like returning characters to come back to see like where they are now, like that would be kind of cool. Hopefully some of them, they probably got like kids or whatever. Like maybe you'll see like, maybe your rival is like the son of the main character from X and Y or something. That would be kind of cool. Graphics are very similar to Scarlet and Violet, but the UI is the same as Legends Arceus. Sprites used, box, etc. are all the same. So this I actually am kind of fine with, because I kind of dig the UI from Legends Arceus. Like the corner, like switching between your items that way. I dig that. You know what I'm saying? Now, looking like Scarlet and Violet, like I've already done a video about like the art design or art style of Scarlet and Violet versus Sword and Shield, and I prefer the Sword and Shield art style and aesthetic to Scarlet and Violet. And I already explained why Scarlet and Violet looks the way it does in that video. But hopefully this is something that they can fix in the next year or so. Hopefully they can add some more detail or some more flair to the design to make it more Sword and Shield, less Scarlet and Violet. It is your job to secure areas to help with the expansion, but the evil team try to stop you as they believe humans are forcing their way into Pokemon ecosystems, which is why they end up summoning Zygarde. Returning Pokemon include Pidgey, Nincada, Mr. Mime Jr., Zigzagoon, Patrat, and a few more. That's a weird set of Pokemon. Like, why wouldn't you do, like, the final evolutions? Why would you say... I mean, Pidgey coming back, like, it's freaking Pidgey. Like, Patrat, like, okay, that's just a weird set of Pokemon to use, you know. I mean, I don't think anybody really cares that Pidgey, Nincada, Mime Jr., Zigzagoon, and Patrat are coming back. You know what I'm saying? These are all like Route 1, Route 2 Pokemon. With the exception of Mime Jr., I don't think they'll give you a Psychic Pokemon that early, but the UI shows that abilities and held items return. Thank the Lord. If that's the case, bro, that could be the biggest thing. That could be the biggest selling point for me on Legends ZA right there. Because one of the biggest problems I have, and I've said this probably 1,000 times on the channel, is I don't like the battle system of Legends Arceus. I think it's slimmed down, it feels quicker, but it also feels hollow. It feels like something is missing. All right, it feels like the battle system is not as robust. You know what I'm saying? And faster is not always good. All right, you know, people say less is more. Sometimes that's not the case. All right, when it comes to the Pokemon battle system, less ain't more. Okay, all right, the whole battle system is there because the held items and the abilities add a layer of like thought to your team and to the battles that you don't really get when they're not there. Because if you're not worried about, like, you know, a Pokemon holding a red card and sending your Pokemon back to daggone team, you know, so, or you're not worried about, oh, does this Pokemon have, you know, you know what I'm saying, what ability does Pokemon have, you know, if you're not worried about that stuff, it takes that away from, you know, from the thought of the game. Trailer is being dropped the week after the Rayquaza event ends. That's all for now. So I actually think this is pretty good. Hopefully they do, you know, hopefully some of this is true. The thing is, when you didn't put no returning Pokemon, if you really want to make your 4chan text dump awesome, you gotta put in some megas or something, man. You gotta put in some better returning Pokemon than freaking Patrat and Pidgey, you know. So that's about it for this. You know, like, comment, subscribe, drop them comments because next episode I will be doing a commentary. So like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, keep it real.